Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another alternative factuals video. So forgive the sound of the mic, even though it's the same mic that I've upgraded to. I'm not gonna really have a lot of time to I guess clean up the audio as well as I usually do, but nonetheless, it should still sound pretty good for the most part. And I'm pretty sure some of you won't even notice. But we're going to be talking about Thor, Love and Thunder. Now, I'm not going to be specifically talking about the trailer, even though I will be referencing it to make some valid points or kind of progress my perspective on the trailer and how I think things are going to go down and how important it is to the rest of the MCU, especially with the coming movie of Black Panther 2. As well as how it ties into Moon Knight and Bastet and all that stuff. So, if you like content like this, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're thinking. And without further ado, possible ado, let's kind of just dive into today's video. So, first of all, the trailer looks amazing, as did the last Thor movie, which was Thor Ragnarok. But this one, I feel like, is the most important Thor movie out of the rest of them. Because this movie kind of serves multiple, I guess, purposes. In one purpose, it's only kind of, well, not only, but it's expanding the Thor mythos, basically diving in not only more towards the Norse side of it, but also the Greek pantheons, and acknowledging that there are other gods out there in the universe, much like they did when it came to Thor comics, when it came to Gore the God Butcher with Jason Aaron. So that was super, super dope. Now, what makes this even better is the fact that, too, it's using this platform to introduce the earthly pantheon of gods, which, like I said, includes not only himself and other Norse gods, but also Zeus, as well as Bastet, who we saw in that little screenshot that I posted actually on the community tab, that we see that she's sitting there on the throne as well. So this is like a meeting of the gods. Like, this is almost like, you know, how the Sky Fathers have a meeting in Marvel Comics, except it's not just strictly Odin and Zeus, even though as of right now Odin is dead, but it's about how simply that all these gods do exist, and Thor is pretty much, the Thor movie is pretty much just letting us know that they are out there. And we did get more of this confirmation, obviously, with Moon Knight, because we not only saw that Khonshu was out there, and basically all these other gods were out there, at least the Egyptian gods, but we just know that in general, every god that seems to exist on the earthly plane, or every god that seems to have been or will be worshipped, does exist, and Thor is making sure to bring that to the forefront and kind of introducing not only some cosmic parts of the Marvel Universe, but more of like the mystical, godlike parts. Now, what makes this super, super dope is because this is going to transition into kind of, you know, like I said, Black Panther 2, where now we know that Bastet is real. We know Bastet is around and available, and, you know, we're probably going to see a lot more of her, much like I had mentioned in the last video revolving around Bastet and Khonshu and her relation to Egypt and all that stuff. Now, it's super dope because in reality, a lot of times in the comics, before a Black Panther really becomes a Black Panther, not only do they have to consume the heart-shaped herb, but also they have to commune with their ancestors, commune with Bast, and then Bast has to embrace them into this lineage, even though, like I said, they come from a lineage of people who have been accepted by Bast already. But also, this does include when Bast, you know, allows the Black Panther or the King of Wakanda, Queen of Wakanda, whoever, to marry. And Bast has to not only examine their heart, their mind, but also their soul. And Bastet is very much involved in the marriage process in Wakanda when it comes to the kings and queens of Wakanda itself. Bastet is very much involved in their culture. Bastet is very much communicative with the Black Panther. Bastet is very much involved in everything in Wakanda because they worship her, and she kind of gave them the abundance that they, you know, experienced through the vibranium and all that stuff and all that jazz and through their worship and blah, blah, blah. So this is why this trailer is super dope, because not only is it going to be probably a pretty good movie for the most part, because like I said, the Thor movies are very enjoyable, but for the most part, it's just going to be an introduction to Bastet, which I think we should have gotten a long time ago, if I were to be honest with you. So in this movie, maybe we'll see like, you know, we already know Gore is going to be in it, and the all-black Necro Sword is going to be a part of this whole situation as well. But maybe we'll see that Gore attempted to go after Bastet. You know, maybe Marvel will take this big chance and actually kill off Bastet, but I don't think so, because like I said, we did not get introduced to her, at least not physically, in person, so it would be really difficult for them to be like, okay, here's Bast, and then all of a sudden dead. So that is a possibility, but I doubt it, because one, she's not a villain in this story, and usually Marvel only does that to villains, so we, I guess, have a little bit of safety knowing that. Now, two, because this trailer is exploring, you know, the pantheons of gods that exist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's just going to be very interesting to see the type of power and how their power differs from each pantheon in terms of the totality of, you know, what they can and cannot do. Now, in general, you know, much like Odin, Thor, Zeus, Bast, Khonshu, all of them have extremely large amounts of power. But I think what's very weird is that, not necessarily weird, but what we can tell about different gods is like their power comes from different sources or different places. It seems like, you know, gods like Bast and Khonshu draw strength from like how many worshippers they have. Like that's where their power comes from. Khonshu, for the most part, was relatively weak. At least that's how it's perceived in the Moon Knight series. So I could be wrong about that. But then there were other gods where they had such a more devoted kind of faith in the other gods. They seemed a little bit more powerful, as if people were still, like I said, worshiping them. So that's something else we can get into as well. It seems like the Greek and Zeus, Greek and Norse mythology involving Zeus and even Odin, it seems like their powers aren't really tied to how many believers they have, but they inherently just are extremely powerful individuals who are long-lived. So that is also something else that we got to take in consideration. I could be wrong about that, but that's just me kind of spitballing something off the top of my head that I was really thinking about. Let me know in the comments if you feel like, you know, all their power either is the same or all their powers are tied to worship, or which gods seem to be tied into worship itself. But let me know in the comments down below. Now, just to wrap up this video and kind of keep things moving along, because I'm recording this and you already know that this week Kenobi drops and Stranger Things is going to be dropping. So, you know, I got to prepare myself for that as well, because I'm probably going to end up binging all of it. So, but I think what I'm looking forward to the most, though, besides simply her introduction, is her involvement with Wakanda after she left the Egyptian pantheon of gods. So we just know that at one point she was, like I said, a part of the Egyptian pantheon of gods, even though Egypt is in Africa, in the continent of Africa. We do know at some point she migrated and became specifically the, you know, saint of Wakanda, in a sense, you know, like, you know, just someone who was a saint god, or the person who represents Wakanda specifically. They became their primary, you know, source of worship when it came to their life and pretty much a lot of the choices that they made, whatever time period onward till now. So I would like to know what made her move and shift over, and what happened in between those 2 points, where, you know, what was going on when she, you know, left the pantheon, the Egyptian pantheon of gods, and moved to, you know, being solely worshipped by the Wakandans. Was it something related to the fact that a lot of the Egyptian gods, like we've seen in Moon Knight, seem to pass judgment on people based on what they think is worthy or what they think is right? I don't know. But we'll find that out hopefully sometime in the future, and understand why she kind of did what she did, or why she moved from one place to another. So I hope that turns out to be the case, I guess. But let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if you're excited for Thor: Love and Thunder. Let me know if you're excited for the fact that they're introducing Gore the God Butcher and other gods throughout the, not only the, you know, like I said, the Earth pantheon, but just simply the fact that they're introducing gods across the universe. So let me know in the comments how you feel about it, and, you know, just if you're new to the channel, like, share, and of course subscribe, and I hope to see you later on. Peace out.